Hello and welcome to this edition of FiTV. I'm your host, Brad Swanson. We are coming to you from inside the Florida Capitol on our game day from the 4th floor, joined by Matt Dixon with Politico Florida. Matt, welcome.
Usually these guys don't let me on the 4th floor, so this is great.
I know. Usually you're run out by security, and they're just like, "Sir, stop it." All right. So Matt, we were a day away from the alleged end of session. What's going to be Politico's headline? What's your top takeaways?
Well, I think one of the biggest things we're seeing here is sort of the poor clock management, I guess is how I would call it. About a week ago, it seemed like a lot of the big issues were cleaned up. The budget was getting done, AOB was done, Visit Florida finally pulled it out. The immigration and a few others are still hanging around, but a lot of the big global sort of policy black clouds.
And usually they keep the media on pins and needles because that's this week is when they do it,
That's right. Yeah, the policy sort of black clouds that we have this time of year had kind of cleared up. But lo and behold, the budget finishes up and we're 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours before it's laid on the desk, which is an important step to getting it done. So all of a sudden we run over our deadline and we're not going to get out of here on Friday. We're going to get out of here on Saturday. So I've sort of looked at this, and it's NFL draft season, and NFL teams and quarterbacks are judged sometimes on clock management. And I think a couple of really bad quarterbacks have been running clock management here towards the end of session. It's been a great session so far. It's been very smooth, very clean. But at the end, we're going to have to go into some legislative overtime, and I don't know exactly why.
Right. So when your airline ticket gets interrupted, when your vacation gets interrupted, that's when Matt Dixon goes to work, right?
Yes, that's right. Well, I mean, the good news is we are going to be here on Saturday for a budget vote, but they have said time and time again, they've said a few times now that it's probably just going to be the budget.
Right.
It's not going to be other policy issues. So, I'll believe it when I see it.
Right.
But if that's the case, it'll be a real quick Saturday, and we can all get to St. George.
So when we think about, before we think about vacation, when you think about any one of the issues, what was your favorite one to cover? What was your most?
This year, Visit Florida was really interesting because the House sort of had all the leverage on that position. If nothing passed this year, it went away.
Right.
So if they were, serious about getting rid of this thing, they had every opportunity to do it this year. Yet, in the end, as we all kind of expected, Visit Florida pulled it out.
Sure.
The governor got engaged. The Senate wanted it, and they ultimately won out. Right. But it was an interesting issue this year in the sense that one chamber sort of had all the leverage, but still in the end sort of had to negotiate.
So Senator Young, right? This was her first time at the helm of one of the most public, if you will, institutions of late, and she was. Did she find success as a former senator, or
it's a scoreboard game? So I don't know. I didn't see quite enough of the incremental movements as she was meeting with lawmakers, which I'm sure she did. But ultimately, it was a budget cut, but nobody expected them to get their full $76 million.
Right. They
got $50 million, and they lived to come back and fight another session. So if that's not one on the scoreboard for Dana Young, I don't know what is.
Well, while we're on scoreboards, let's look at Jamal Soul, who's been the new CEO of Enterprise Florida. I mean, they kind of pulled a similar thing, not quite as big, but...
Sure. Well, I mean, the best thing for these economic development agencies and sort of the Corcoran or post-Corcoran era where economic development's always in the spotlight is you want to stay out of the headlines. You don't want to draw attention to yourself right now. And Enterprise Florida did a really good job of that this year because Visit Florida was getting them all.
Right.
So when you're sort of living in that economic development world with the House where it is on that policy position, you want to fly under the radar. And
Sure.
They did a good job of that this year.
It seemed like a lot of people did that, and I think we're just going to have to tune into Politico and really see what you're writing about. And what do you plan? What are you going to cover this summer? Is it all about the elections ramp up?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of it. Summer is implementation season, so a lot of the big bills we see passed here are going to the rulemaking phase, and we got a bureau full of nerds, so we're going to be in those we're going to be in those little conference rooms out in Southwood watching the rulemaking happen.
All right, excellent. Well, we can't wait to have you back on FiTV, and we appreciate you coming on today. Good luck between now and Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's all the time we have for today's episode, so if you can, hit us up on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts. And for now, thanks for tuning in.